everybody, welcome on back to Chart Request Live. My name is Patrick Donawilla. I am the editor of the Chart Report. If you don't get the Chart Report, go ahead and subscribe right now at chartreport.com. Joining me today is Sam Gatlin. Sam, how are you?
I'm good. I'm coming to you from a freezing cold Kansas day.
Yeah? All right. So I'm in New York right now, but what do you think of this market? It sure is fun.
Well, it definitely is fun. This Russell 2000 certainly has my attention right now. We rallied almost 12% initially after the election and have been correcting since then. And just today, we're reclaiming that VWAP anchor to that high. So I think the uptrend is about to reassert itself here.
Yeah, I really like that you're starting off with this one too. And you could even draw a neckline from that kind of head and shoulders type pattern. And
Right.
we are like kind of testing it right now. And if we can get over that'd be a big hump too, right?
For sure. Yep. I think it happens as long as we're above this VWAP. Path of least resistance is higher towards this 2,500 level. I think new all-time highs are around the corner for small caps.
Yeah, and I think you're right to be looking at that VWAP from the peak there. But Sam, we got a pretty stuffed mailbag here. So you want to get to it?
Well, let's get to it.
All right, let's start off with TEO. This one's from Jonathan, says, looks like it's broken out of a nice 5-year base on the weekly. First target looks like 1770, then nothing until 32.
Yeah, okay. Nice big rounding bottom here. I like to drop WAPs from peaks like this that preceded massive drawdowns. That was an important level. There's a lot of bag holders up there. We have reclaimed that level, so the path of least resistance seems to be shifting higher out of this consolidation phase. Let's see if we can fib it out and get some more tactical levels to trade against. And can you tell me again what the situation is? Did we buy this breakout above 10?
So
Good to buy now.
insane. Looks like it's broken out a nice 5-year base on the weekly. Target looks like 1770, and then nothing until 32.
1770. So what they're citing is this little level here, I think, which
Yeah.
coincides with some price action before. I think you're right to be looking at that 17, 18 level. I think that will come into play here shortly, not far away, but above there, I think you can add to your position, buying on strength with the initial target of 40. I think that's a great trade. That's that is more than a double from there. So I think that's the trade, really.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see more kind of base building on this one before it's really ready to go. I think you could probably retest that $10 level after it hits 18. Or maybe it comes back to that VWAP and finds support there.
Sure.
But
That's how I would see it, for sure. No
yeah,
reason for this one to need more time though. Like all of the evidence suggests that buyers are taking control of that long-term trend. Like you're getting a new high on this weekly RSI as well.
yeah, yeah, I like
I
that
like
too.
here.
Yeah,
This comes from the telecommunications sector as well.
Argentina
Has
just
been
on
working.
fire in terms of
Yeah.
national.
Yep, for sure.
Let's take a look at IPI.
IPI.
Yeah.
So this is $350 million stock. Pretty small. Be careful with this one, but it is
That's right.
they're in the commodity business, so I will look at it. I think that's fine. I think the move here is to trade this base back up to this level. I think that's a big move, but I think that is what makes a lot of sense here. And the move probably is to drop a WAP from there. See where that comes in. And it's way above current levels, so we're going to have an initial price target of there. So about 40.75 is our initial objective. Now, where do we get involved? That is a little bit tougher. I think the fibs aren't going to help you much. You could use the 61.8 as a secondary objective once we reclaim this VWAP. But really, I think you want to buy this one on strength above this shelf of former highs right around here. This, in my opinion,
Like around 28 there,
resolve
yeah.
this
27, 28.
consolidation.
Yeah. And then maybe you could use the fibs as your targets, right?
Right, exactly.
So not all that useful for the entry, but
right. RSI is looking a little bit sketchy here. I wouldn't be surprised if it consolidates here for a little bit longer, but it certainly looks constructive here. Super high and tight. I think it's just a matter of time before this one puts the finishing touches on this base. Great find, whoever brought this to us.
Yeah, normally we don't look at stocks under $1 billion on this show, but in market
Intrepid
cap.
Potash, that's some name.
But Sam sure does love his commodity stocks, so
I do.
Exception. Let's take a look at AVPT.
Okay.
This one's from Mark, $3.4 billion cloud AI company.
Yeah, I love it. Looks like this thing has been ripping. Is this a new all-time high? We are making new all-time highs today.
Wow.
Putting the finishing touches
Sam,
on this textbook base.
Hey, it's gonna be tough to beat this one.
Yeah. Early
I really
chart
like this
of the
one.
day candidate here.
And
so 17, I think
this
18.
one was a. Looks like this one was a SPAC, right?
Yeah, definitely a SPAC, I would say. So, software solutions for data management. Okay. So 18 is our breakout level. If it's above there, you can own as much as you want of AvePoint, AVPT. Below there, you want nothing to do with it. It likely needs more time to consolidate. It could potentially come down and test this $9.50 level. That would be a nasty drawdown, so you certainly don't want to hold this one through that. Only want it above 18, but from there, you're targeting $50. Quite the move.
Yeah, I really like this one. Very clean.
It's 20. Had my fibs wrong. That sounded wrong to me. 27 is our initial objective. So I like this one. I like it a lot.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be tough to beat that one. Nice find, Mark. Let's see. Let's do Solana.
Yeah. Let's talk Solana.
Yeah, Steve and I were talking about this one earlier this week, and this is probably one of the easiest. I mean, knock on wood, but it's been one of the easier cryptos to hold.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
When Bitcoin's kind of correcting and stuff, this one doesn't really correct as much, just kind of stays steady and then participates on the upside.
So this is what you're talking about, that relative trend.
Yeah.
Solana looks similar in both absolute and relative terms. That is what you want to see in a leader. We see it in the stock market all the time. Why should we treat these cryptos any differently? I like this trading view crypto data more than the Coinbase. So the level is 260.
Look at that.
That is where we peaked in the prior cycle after it had a huge run. So if my data is correct here, Solana rallied 120, let's call it, 1,000% in the prior cycle. So to expect some huge returns once we reclaim this level.
Fib out that base.
I'm sorry?
Fib out that base. I'm curious to see.
Yeah, for sure. That was my next step. So initial objective is 420. After that, you have 675.
Wow.
I think it's hard to bet against this one going to 1,000, I think. And in my head, that's where this one's heading.
Wow.
Of course, I have no idea. I don't have a crystal ball, but Why not?
but based on how some of these other bases are resolving, right?
Right, exactly. Exactly.
All right. Let's move on to the chat here. Let's hit Lunar, LUNR.
Space stocks have been working. Let's see. Are we going to get a SpaceX IPO this cycle, Patrick?
You know, it's very possible. They have that, what is it,
DXYZ?
DXYZ, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's a
like,
crazy one.
so supposedly has exposure to SpaceX or something, right?
But you're paying a premium for it.
Uh,
So Lunar has reclaimed this all-time high after VWAP. Bulls
Quite a
are in
chart.
control of this one on every
Yeah.
time frame, it looks like. Hard to be bearish on this one. This SPAC price is another level that tends to come into play in the future with these SPACs. So that's about $10 on this one. It has been resistance before, but we have blasted through it, and
Yeah.
I see no reason for this one to not head back to that former all-time high.
Really? You think it's going all the way up there?
I mean, why not,
Stopping
Patrick?
at 21st or nothing? You don't want to take profits anywhere? Just going right up to that 120 level?
Well, I think it's a mindset thing. Like, what is this vehicle? It's like a speculative space stock. Do you want 40% on a speculative space stock if you get the direction right? Like, for me, no. Like, I want to get a 5x on a trade like that. Like, that's what this vehicle is for. So,
Yeah.
I think
You know, and I always have trouble with charts like these, where you have this like massive move right after the IPO or something like that. Like I'm thinking like Palantir. Man, I was looking at one yesterday. I'm not going to remember it, but similar to this chart where you have this massive blow off early on to the left-hand side of the chart there, and then you have this really nice, beautiful base. So it's kind of hard to find a target when it in a scenario like that. You know what I'm
it
talking about?
definitely is. And like, there was not a lot of volume done over here. So, like, this was kind of just the initial pump after it went public, And you
Right.
got a huge, I don't know, 99.9% drawdown. So, like, I mean, the thing is, Patrick, what else do you have to go on? Like, we could fib out this
Right.
base, I suppose. Like, you could do
Yeah.
something like this and use the extension levels as your targets. If you want to be more conservative and take gains along the way, or potentially add to your positions as it trends in your direction. But again, these fib extensions would take you all the way back to this prior high. So
Yeah.
who knows? I like this one. I think it goes up. How much? I don't know.
Let's take a look at Boeing, the most
Ooh.
boring aerospace stock.
Now this one I think goes down. So we got to start with Boeing versus the S&P, because what a disaster this company is.
My gosh.
So we are trying to resolve a dot-com bubble base, just the other way, wrong direction for Boeing. Boeing looks to be in trouble here. So we are just a stone's throw away from testing that all-time low versus the broader market. There's no evidence that the downside momentum is easing. Looks to be accelerating to me. I think this one is one of the best short candidates in the market from a large cap stock perspective. It's just been a total disaster for so long. You had a double top here, and from there, it's tough to do anything at this level. I think we're stuck in the mud between, I would call it 140 and 120. Between there, it's really difficult to have a position in this one, in my opinion, in either direction. But boy, if you can get this one below 120, I think it goes much lower from there.
Yeah, this chart just looks like death.
It looks like that.
Anyway, let's somebody said what's up with Amazon, and taking a look at it, it's breaking that Bezos wall to the downside. He had that massive billions of dollars to sell at 200 there. But we broke out, and here we are kind of retesting it. I wouldn't call this a breakdown yet. I think this is just kind of a natural vibration.
Yeah, certainly not bullish price action though.
Yeah, I mean, we could easily close above 200 too.
For sure, we definitely could.
That's the more important thing.
So, zooming in here on the 1 hour candles.
Going in an hourly. Look at this.
Going in on the hourlies. Yeah. So this is the short-term trade. If we close above 200 today, we squeeze above there, then you put the trade on,
Sam, I'm sorry. Is Amazon really going to break down in this bull market?
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe that's irresponsible of me, but
yeah,
I mean, this thing has gone nowhere for the last, 3-4 years, basically since the pandemic.
Right. And then you look at something like iBuy, just the online retail space is working in general. You can look at the international stocks. And I know Amazon's not just online retail, but it's a big part of the business for sure.
Yeah. Hey, Black Friday's coming up.
Black Friday's coming up. You got a lot of catalysts there for Amazon, I think.
You know what? I got a request. Let's take a look at the retail sector. I haven't looked at XRT in quite a while.
Looks like we are still stuck in that range. If I overlaid IBB with this, you wouldn't be able to tell me which is which.
Isn't that funny? Two
Yeah.
unrelated industries.
Yeah, they're just small companies at the end of the day.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah, it's probably a size thing.
But it looks great, Patrick, for sure. I think it puts the finishing touches on this. Anytime, this is a great place to look for buying opportunities right now. In the small cap space specifically.
Yeah. And retail is a great one to look for long short opportunities in there because it's such an uncorrelated sector. We see things like tech and software semis, they tend to move together a lot, but retail, they're all just doing their own different things.
Right. You have TJ Maxx making new all-time highs while Target's crashing on terrible earnings reports.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you're
talking like Walmart versus Target.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Let's take a look at Workday.
Yeah.
We didn't hit that one yet, right?
So the Workday is a $71.5 billion tech stock. Reports in 5 days now.
Yeah, Sam, go to a daily on this one. I have an entire quarter circled that was basically just one giant island reversal. It was a quarter. Actually, so between May 2024 and what was that? August.
So this is what you're talking about.
Yeah, so an entire quarter of just like an island, right? Like it's like a big bullish island reversal. That entire quarter traded down there because it gapped down after earnings, and then just spent 3 months in there, and then gapped higher. And it looks like it successfully held it too.
It's kind of like that Snapchat chart.
Oh gosh, yeah, but not as terrible. Yeah.
Yeah. But no.
And you know what? It had another little quarter island reversal down there in October to the left.
That's all this thing does is island reversals.
I know. Quarter island reversals.
I love it. And you successfully retested the island, turned it into support, and we're bouncing off there. Seems like this one's trending back towards this level, this 311.5 level, which...
And just looking at this chart, we can tell that earnings clearly matter a ton. So whatever this does, it's going to make its move. When is the earnings report? A couple days?
It's in 5 days.
Okay.
26th, next Tuesday.
Ooh.
But, I think you want to bet on the earnings reaction being in the same direction as the short-term trend, which is undeniably higher right now. You're reclaiming this key retracement level from a nasty drawdown. You fell 35% just a couple months. So I think this one has 311 written all over it.
Yeah, you know,
we'll see.
I kind of want to take a look at the 280 calls after this.
Yeah, they're probably juiced. You know, you got those earnings.
Yeah, normally before earnings, the implied volatility just ruins it.
Right.
Let's take a look at HPK next.
HPA?
Actually, you know, let's look at GSAT, GSAT. I think that's on the aerospace theme, right? No,
I'm not sure. It says it's a telecom.
They do like satellite.
Yeah.
Something.
Satellite offers voice and data communication services. From Louisiana. Love it. So you have a big prolonged consolidation here that started in early 2021. Before that, you had a pretty massive run up. So this stock went up 8x and has held all of those gains for the most part. Like, I don't think we retraced. We briefly retraced 61.8 of the move, but buyers quickly stepped up. Certainly seems to be an interested party in this one. So it's just a big mess. Gosh, what do you do with this, Patrick? Like, probably just buy it up on strength above 2.
You know, I know you're not.
And you have this whole mess right here.
I know you're not a huge trendline fan, but I'd probably draw a trend line in that consolidation. I mean, that's like a big channel.
Sure.
Almost treating it like it's not a bull flag, but almost kind of treating it like that, trading it like that. Or maybe drawing a VWAP from that initial kind of high. Yeah, right before it started stalling there. Yeah. But we're probably above that.
Yeah, we are. Not helpful at the moment.
And this name has been showing up all over the buzz lately, so a lot of traders are watching this one for sure.
Well, you see, like ASTS is, I would say, their closest peer. And look how this stock has acted.
Actually, let's take a look at ASTS. Somebody mentioned it here in the chat.
Yeah, so right now we're consolidating after rallying nearly 2,000% this year. This thing has been an absolute monster. It's now $7.5 billion in market cap.
So was that it? Was that all she wrote?
I really don't think so. I think it's just going to take some time to consolidate here. It's been incredibly constructive. I'm not registering any oversold momentum readings. It's just it seems like a textbook retest of that breakout level. And those tend to be messy. You get some whipsaws. Maybe it takes longer than you expect, but I think it ultimately reasserts itself in that primary uptrend. Like, look at this short-term chart. Like, this just looks like a textbook bull flag to me.
You think it's going
doesn't
under $20
look like
ever
distribution and whatsoever.
Do you think it's going under 20 ever?
I think it's certainly possible. Maybe you get a little whipsaw. Like, I could see a nasty whipsaw towards like the 16 level, and then you go something like that. Who knows? It's definitely a wild child, and you want to position size responsibly with a vehicle like this.
Okay, yeah, earnings were behind us.
Yeah, let's put a target on this one. So above, we only want this one above this VWAP anchored to the all-time high, which would confirm the short-term trend is higher. If we reclaim that, our first target is 40. After that, I think you get 63.5.
I like it, Sam. Donovan brought us Globe, GLBE. Global E Online.
Yeah.
More of that online retail, iPay type stocks, right? Or iBuy.
It's a whole theme, yeah. So this one is from Israel. Holy cow, what's going on here? Is this an earnings gap and go? Ooh, look what we have here, Patrick.
I guess I never really realized there's iPay and there's iBuy, both from the same ETF provider. That's kind of interesting.
I think one of them has like no. I think one of them is market cap weighted and one is equal weighted. Is my understanding.
Well, okay, so one's digital payments and the other one's online. Yeah, sound exactly the same. Anyway, we'll drill into them later.
So this one is resolving a textbook rounding bottom formation on the heels of an earnings report where they beat top and bottom line. You'd love to see it, a little gap and go. You see it in the best breakouts. You got it with NVIDIA several years ago before its historic run. It's a key characteristic of strong uptrends is gapping above resistance. And this one, I think, is heading back towards those all-time highs. Just like we've been saying all day long, is complete that primary trend reversal, you want those former all-time highs. I think 57.5 is a level of interest. You could see some sellers come in there. You had some consolidation here in the prior cycle. So be prepared for that. But I really, really like this one.
Yeah, I really like it as well. And just to backtrack real quick on that GSAT, if we could go back to that one.
Yeah.
Bill said that jump was when Apple took a stake. He said GSAT was the hot corner about 6 months ago.
Wow. Okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So Apple's involved with this, and they don't get involved with a lot of companies, like they have a reputation for building things in-house.
Right.
This one looks amazing. So these VWAPs are telling me that this consolidation is really a coil that's ready to explode. Buyers are in control of the long-term trend as long as price is above $1.60. So it currently is. I think you can own this one in size.
It's funny.
See if we can get back to 450.
But I think it's like an $8 billion company or something, right? Like,
yeah,
it's over $3 billion.
Right. Yeah, $3 billion. It's like one of those meme stocks. The y-axis is weird, but it actually has liquidity.
Yeah. Robert wants to take a look at Snow. This one really interesting.
Fire.
Failed breakdown here. Really interesting. Especially just how good software looks right now. I think this one just makes sense.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see this massive move that it made this week.
Right. Yeah.
I just saw the
we smashed earnings. Was that this morning? It was last night.
I didn't even see today.
Smashed it. This is one of the best sessions in Snowflake's history.
Oh my gosh.
It is the best day in history for Snowflake. So that is certainly not bearish. We're coming off of a double bottom formation. So price bottomed here in 2022, consolidated for several months or several years, really. This was a long consolidation. Retested it again in September. Now we're ripping off of there. We reclaimed this VWAP from a prior earnings disaster earlier this year. So buyers are certainly in control of the short-term trend. I think you're going to find some sellers up here at 230. But once you can put the finishing touches on this base, I think it heads back towards these former all-time highs. So your trade really is, you wanted it against this VWAP. It's hard to get in right now. But above there, you want this, it's 200 to 230. It's not a clear range, but that's what has my attention. I think that's your first stop, and then 400 after that.
Yeah, if you wanted to get involved today, what do you do? Do you just buy it and then put a, stop at today's low, or?
Well, I don't hate that strategy, but you're still risking a lot by doing that. Like you'd be risking close to 8% on that. So maybe we could get a fib retracement to help define our risk, and that doesn't really help us at all. So I think really if the move could be to buy it on
maybe you
strength.
stop at the former highs there, you know, the or that I shouldn't call them the former highs,
This
but
one?
like right there.
This pivot high.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Sure.
If
Certainly.
you really wanted to get in this one.
Certainly. And I think tomorrow will be really important for this one as well. Like if you want to get long this one, I think you need to see buyers come in tomorrow and follow through on today's price action.
Yeah, I'd agree. Let's check out the chat, see if we got anything else. NAZ. Oh, never mind.
A municipal income fund.
No, I think he's talking about the NASDAQ here. Totally misread that one. Well, Sam, let's leave it here for today. If we didn't get to your request, or if you want us to take a look at one next time, our next show is what, Monday, right? So be sure to email us at questions@stockmarketmedia.com, and we'll be sure to look at those tickers on Monday. Thanks.
Thanks, everybody.
Oh, wait, Sam, before we go, favorite chart.
Oh, it was my one from earlier, that the aerospace and defense. I can't remember the ticker.
Let's see. There was one with it was A.
Yep.
Shoot, what was it? AVPT.
Yep.
That was the one. That was the winner today.
Yep. What a great chart. It's actionable right here, right now. Above 18.
Shout out to Mark. Yeah.
Shout out, Mark.
Yeah.
This is great.
I really like it. All right, Sam. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later.